us to get a safe monthly income for life. So I just want to tell everyone, if you're in need of additional income, especially with the high cost of everything these days, please call Joe Thomas. It's no cost to you. He is so professional, knowledgeable, trustworthy, and you can put total confidence in him. My husband and I can't say enough good things about Jupiter Joe and his staff.
I want to thank you for your kind words for Jupiter Joe Thomas. If you want to call Joe Thomas, I'm going to give you his number. It's a no-charge consultation, which you can take advantage of no matter where you're located. 561-743-0999, 561-743-0999, and online at jupiterjoe.com.
The stars you know.
The music you love.
The True Oldies Channel.
We hear you're leaving, that's okay. I thought our little wild time had just begun. I guess you kinda scared yourself, you turn and run. But if you have a change of heart, Ricky, don't lose that number. You don't wanna call nobody else. Send it off in a letter.
WQAM 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WFLM 104.7 HD3 Palm Beach Shores, and heard in Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. We are South Florida's home for the True Oldies Channel. Alexa rocks.
I appreciate that.
And now, so do you. Just say, Alexa, play True Oldies FLA.
I love this station.
Now you've got the good time oldies.
Sloman's Home Security is offering a free home security system with free professional installation and 24/7 central station monitoring, all for just $24.95 a month for 5 years. All you have to do right now is call 833-283-5050. That's right, just $24.95 per month to secure your home and family. Call 833-283-5050 to receive this limited time offer. A free home security system and professional installation absolutely free. Your Sloman's home security system includes a touchscreen keypad, 3-door or window sensors, a motion detector, notifications, and remote keypad access, so you can check in anytime from anywhere. You can't put a price on peace of mind, so call 833-283-5050 right now. At Sloman's Home Security, we believe every family deserves to feel safe, because protecting what matters most shouldn't be complicated or expensive. Call 833-283-5050 to get your free home security system and professional installation today. Sloman's Home Security, protecting families nationwide. Call 833-283-5050 to get your free home security system and professional installation today, or visit slomans.com.
The content, information, and opinions expressed during the related show are those of the show personalities and guest alone, and not those of Vic Canellis Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Hello, I'm Earl Stewart. I welcome you to Earl Stewart on Cars, a live talk show all about how to buy, lease, maintain, or repair your car without being ripped off by a car dealer. With me in the studio is Nancy Stewart, my wife, co-host, and a strong consumer advocate, especially for our female listeners. We also have Rick Kearney, an expert on how to keep your car running right. I dare you to ask a question that Rick can't answer about the mechanics or electronics of your car. Also with us is my son, Stu Stewart. Our link to cyberspace through Facebook, YouTube, text messaging, and our encrypted anonymous feedback service. Stu is also the Spymaster Director of our Mystery Shopping Report. He dispatches our secret shopper weekly to an unsuspecting car dealership. And now, on with the show.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Earl Stewart on Cars. As you can see, I'm kind of all alone this morning. Unfortunately, Earl and Nancy got caught in a bit of traffic. They're working their way here, and we'll be here shortly. And as you know, we are in West Palm Beach, Florida, Palm Beach Gardens area, and it's kind of a celebrity weekend down here. Two of my favorite celebrities are in town, and it may have an effect on some of the traffic here. And that is the President of the United States has graciously brought along with him Air Force One and the Beast. And yeah, folks, I know we're not into politics here at all. I'm simply saying that I love those two machines. If you're in this area and you get a chance to drive by Palm Beach International Airport, right now, one of the most beautiful machines that you will ever see in your life is Air Force One sitting so proudly on that tarmac. And if you're lucky and happen to be around when it gets on the road, you'll get a chance to glimpse the Beast, the presidential limousine. And that thing, folks, is a monster. I mean, we're talking top-of-the-line automotive technology with every bit of the highest electronic technology you might ever imagine in it. A mechanic's dream. I would dream of the day that I could even just put a finger on that car. Of course, I'd have to wipe off my fingerprint, but oh boy. That is just some of the great automobiles in our history. And we see them on TV all the time, and we see them on the roads all the time. Here in Palm Beach, we see a lot of supercars on the road. And when you're a car nut like me, and here in Paradise where it's just, nice weather all the time, the car shows here where we get to see antiques. We have cars running on the roads down here going to the shows from all the way back in the early 1900s all the way to some of the greatest supercars and the highest technology vehicles that are ever on the road now. And here they come. They are arriving. Better late than never, but
well, this is very true.
We shall shortly have the arrival of Mr. Earl Stewart and his very lovely wife, Nancy.
Well, aren't you the charmer?
I try to be. I haven't got a whole lot else going for me, but I try to be.
Eddie, what I'm going to try to do is keep my hearing aids in.
So, folks, anyways, we are here and ready for your calls. We are ready for your text messages at 772-497-6530 for text messages. 877-960-9960 for the calls. We will answer your questions for the next 2 hours here at the studio. And we also are running live on Facebook and our two YouTube channels, Earl on Cars and the Earl Stewart Toyota channel, which I monitor those two. And we have our team of incredible people that talk with us on YouTube every single week here. So we're looking forward to it.
Well,
and we have Mr. Stewart is here. Earl, how are you, boss?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. It was an exciting ride. We had a little issue with our autonomous car. I'll have to be completely honest with you. And I'll go into the details later, but we call our car, actually it's Nancy's car, we call our Tesla Plaid Miss Nancy. And Miss Nancy missed the radio station, went past, and didn't want to come back.
And excuse me, but what I would like to add to that was because of my cat-like reflexes, I was able to stay in control. Because we are in self-driving, but never, ever lose focus. It's very important.
Absolutely.
So here we are, and a lot of folks don't know us. Nancy and I were talking in the car on the way in about who listens to the show. And we tend to think that our regular callers, of course, we know they listen to the show and they're invaluable. But statistics show us that most people don't listen to the show for the whole show, and most people who do listen to the show don't call in. So our regular callers, God bless you. We couldn't do it without you. You're very, very important. The telephone calls, and I stress telephone because 21st century. We got every kind of a way that you can access whatever we do on this show.
Here's something
And we find out that there's
These are very
statistics again show that there's a lot of new people every week. And I've said in past weeks, those who do listen to the show for 2 hours, and I heard Rick talking about that as I came in the door late, people come in and out. No one's going to, I say not literally, but most people are not going to sit wherever they're sitting or standing and listen to 2 hours of talk radio. Some of it's interesting, some of it's not. Some of it pertains to them, and some of it does not. So statistics, I'm overusing the word statistics, about 15 minutes is about the listening time over the 2 hours. And you don't know which 15 minutes is going to be. 15 minutes the last part of the show, and we'll run from 8 to 10 Eastern Standard Time. So, pardon us if, and I mean our regular listeners, if we repeat some things, but we have some new listeners. We're talking about the fact, and Nancy is going to cover later in the show, she is the one that focuses on our female listeners, but we know for a fact that there are a lot of elderly women in Florida and other states, Arizona, retirement areas, and of course there's a lot of elderly women all over the United States. And I say women because women outlive men. It's fortunate for you ladies, unfortunate for us guys, but I think the stats are about 5 to 6 years. So Nancy is going to be talking to you about some of the things that a woman who is confronting, and men too, they're included in this, but because there's more women, she's going to talk to you about some of the things that women confront when they are about ready to give up the keys, you know. I wrote a blog a long time ago called Freedom Machine. Our cars are our freedom machines, and nobody likes to give up freedom. And the freedom of a car, especially in the United States, is really something special. So Nancy will address this a little bit later on in the show. I go on about the new stuff and the interesting stuff because it's fun to Nancy and me and Rick, the new stuff. But I said earlier in the show, a lot of people haven't heard the show before. So the nuts and bolts of the show are really coming from Rick Kearney. Rick Kearney, who saved me by taking the mic when my autonomous car, Nancy's autonomous car, was running the wrong way on the road near the radio station. You should have heard us when this Miss Nancy passed the radio station, headed for Miami. I don't know what she was doing, but anyway.
Excuse me. Before that, fire rescue, police department, we didn't know what was happening, but Miss Nancy did. Yeah. And every combustion driver around us broke the law.
Yeah. Miss Nancy does
we were on
law.
the side of the road.
Yes, absolutely. So, well, there's a law in Florida, and I think a lot of other states, that you can be anonymously reported if someone thinks you're not a good driver. Now, that sounds good, and a long time ago, we talked about it a lot, but there was an incident involving me, and we talked about it a lot. But most people don't know about that, and most people don't even know about the law. To me, it's a little bit, I don't know what the word is, the idea that your next door neighbor can report you to the Department of Motor Vehicles and you could lose your license and you don't know who did it, to me that's a little bit harsh.
Totalitarian?
Yeah, that's a very good word. Anyway, let me get back to nuts and bolts, and that is 877-960-9960. 877-960-9960. Please write the number down. If you're just listening for 15 or 20 minutes, that's fine. You might come back to the streaming or the radio or whatever you're viewing us by, and have that number handy. It's a heart and soul, even though it represents a small amount of the actuality of the show, if that's a word. It adds to the flavor and entertainment. I think when people call in, it makes the show a better show. It makes more people listen to the show, even though most people don't call in. So please, you folks who've got the courage and like to call in, 877-960-9960. We're going to keep the lines open to the very best of our ability. Nancy will manage that. We've got 5 lines coming in, and she can see on her laptop when the call comes in, see your name, and we will get to you as soon as physically, mentally possible for us. And before I turn the mic over to Nancy, I want to apologize. I got an anonymous feedback last week. It came in late, and someone got mad at me because I was beating Rick up. And they said to me, Rick I think the person said, Rick is the whole show. Well, Rick is the whole show.
No.
Well, don't be modest. To a lot of people, they listen to the show because of you. I'm complimenting you.
Excuse me. We discussed that last night.
Yeah.
Rick is a very important part of the show.
So what I'm apologizing for is I'm kind of like the coach. I'm here, kind of moving the show around because I know that when we have callers waiting, they'll only wait so long, and sometimes we get 4 or 5 callers waiting, and I can do this, or Nancy can do this, or Rick can do this. At the time when I made the comment, Rick was talking on the subject. I felt he was talking too long on the subject, and instead of just saying something polite, I said something stupid. I can't even remember what it was now. And anyway, Rick is...
if you want it quick, don't ask Rick.
Yeah, if you want it quick, don't ask Rick. I mean, it's funny.
Okay.
It's funny, but it's not funny to people that like Rick and depend on him for a lot of very, very, very important information, such as maintaining their car, how to avoid being ripped off by a service department somewhere. Rick actually diagnoses problems on the air. If you're on Facebook, we are on Facebook. Iggy reminded me last week. We were off Facebook for a long time, but we're now on Facebook. So if you're watching it on Facebook.com/Earl on Cars, or Rick's private channel, almost, is YouTube.com/Earl on Cars. YouTube.com/Earl on Cars. This is a huge group of people, extremely informed people, and they call in and they post a lot. Posting is almost as cool as calling because sometimes you can attach a file, audio or video. But anyway, the personalities show through on the posting pretty well too. So Rick is our certified diagnostic master technician, and please call in if you have any issues, maintenance, repair, and diagnosing. That's the key. Just tell us the sound, the smell, the vibration. Describe it the way maybe popped up a red light on your dash. Everything that you know and feel and smell, tell them about that. Tell Rick about that. And chances are about 9 out of 10, he can save you a ton of money. All right. I yacked too long. I'll give that number out one more time. 877-960-9960. I lied twice. 877-960-9960. Now I turn the microphone over to Nancy Stewart, my co-host, co-founder of the show, and the love of my life.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. First, I have to say I apologize for my outrageous behavior when I came into the studio. We were running so late, so much happened on the road, and, well, truthfully, things started happening at 3:30 a.m. for me. So my work day starts extremely early. So there are times whenever I get a little outrageous. Moving along, You know, I don't know if you remember a story that we shared with you many months ago, and it was about a woman who was taken advantage of, and she turned it completely around. And it was in Ohio. It was an Ohio dealership, and they repossessed her car. Repossessed her car. And Tia discovered a way to get back. A way to get back. And guess what she did? She took the dealership's name. She came out on top. My point? Let your voice be heard. Don't let anyone stop you from expressing what you want, what you need, and that you, ladies, are in charge. Ladies are a powerful force in the auto industry, and I say it week in and week out. Financially, for the auto industry, it is a disaster for them financially not to recognize us. Ladies, this morning, as usual, $50 for the first 2 new lady callers. First 2 new lady callers. Please give us a call if you just want to say hello, or if you would like to share your experience in renting a car, buying a new car, buying a used car, just how you were treated when you walked into the dealership, which, by the way, the only reason to walk into the dealership is to drive your car away. Our number here is 877-960-9960. Our text number is 772-497-6530. Don't forget your anonymous feedback.com. We're going to go straight to the phones, and we're going to talk to John, who's calling us from West Palm Beach. And we have a bevy of Johns this morning. And for all of the Johns that are holding on, thank you for your patience. We'll go straight to West Palm Beach. Good morning, John.
Hey, good morning. Let's see. First, I'm going to start off. It's going to sound like John from Palm City and the way he answers calls. Because he always, he comes with these warnings. For the Tesla owners, there's a scam, I believe, going on because on TikTok and YouTube and all that, the scam is getting a lot of feedback on your side. The scam is they're saying that Tesla's weather stripping isn't sufficient enough, and that water and dust is getting in the front and the rear seals in the back. But they don't give what year and which models. Just trying to sell replacement seals for those items, like the doors, front, and the rear trunk, and that. And I just wanted to let the owners of Teslas realize that it may be, now, someone may have that problem, but I just don't believe. I believe it's a scam.
Yeah, as Tesla owners, Nancy and I, first of all, let me say that Tesla can have problems, and we see them in our cars, and it's not. This is not the world's greatest car. I mean, in terms of defects and things like that. So the thing that is amazing about Teslas is the technology. So yeah, but the good thing about Tesla is if there is a problem, they notify you. My issue with Tesla is that I get notified over problems that aren't even problems. They're so sensitive about everything that may or may not go wrong. But thanks, John, for pointing that out, that it is a scam. Teslas are a, what's the word? People, it's almost like pickup trucks. People love pickup trucks or they don't like pickup trucks. BMWs, I mean, there's a lot of, people don't like Teslas, and they don't like the idea autonomous. They don't like the idea of electric vehicles, and they don't like Elon Musk. So it's a political thing a lot. People attack Tesla just like the Tesla people attack combustion cars. Rick,
You got to figure, if you look back in history, when automobiles were first coming out, the amount of prejudice and the amount of people that hated the idea of that noisy, smoking monster coming down the road, scaring horses. I mean, it was a huge change.
And my horse threw me because of that car.
I mean, this was an incredible change in our society.
Yeah.
And Tesla and electric cars and autonomous cars, they're another change in our society. And Tesla's kind of like the Henry Ford with his mass-produced Model Ts.
Yeah.
They're everywhere, and that's why they're the face of the EV autonomous car revolution.
Interesting. Henry Ford had a lot of faults too, from a personality standpoint, or actually a personal belief standpoint, without going into a lot of details. But Henry Ford, either you loved him or you hated him, kind of like Elon Musk. Anyway, we're yakking, John, and you're the caller. You go ahead, please.
Hey, so anyways, now to my original call for Rick. He said, the Beast is a mechanic's dream or whatever. And I was just wondering, I don't know many mechanics that would have a hoist to lift it, because I believe, if you look it up, it's somewhere around 5 tons with all the armor plating and the bulletproof glass.
Oh, for the Beast? Yeah, that is... I got to say, one of the most incredible sights I saw on television was watching the Beast do that lap at Daytona a few years back. That, for the Daytona 500, that was, to me, an incredible sight, because I've been to Daytona, I have seen the banking, and to see that big of a car up on that banking was, oh man, that was incredible. Yeah,
and then my one last thing. You were mentioning how you have to name your cars, you name your Tesla when you purchase it, and that. I may have mentioned it before, but I call it, my car's, it's BABS, an acronym for Big Ass Batteries.
I love it. No, it's fun. Tesla, wants you to name your car because they know it's fun, and a lot of people. I mean, my first car was a 1951 Pontiac straight 8 stick shift. The only option was the heater, and I called her Betsy. So Betsy was the name of my first car, and a lot of people, I think it's fun to name your cars.
Excuse me, guys, but do you remember a Seinfeld episode?
No.
And a license plate? And what it said. And I won't say it on the air, but it's happened more than once.
Yeah, exactly.
Most definitely.
Yeah. The gastroenterologist plate. Amen. A-M-A-N,
That's it
right.
for me.
Yeah, right. Okay.
That's it for me.
All right,
you guys.
Thanks, John.
877-960-9960. Don't forget, you can text us at 772-497-6530. You'll need that number to vote on the Mystery Shopping Report. And I'm going to mention this young lady, I call her, a very strong, determined lady, and what she did with her, what should I call it, her revenge on a dealership. After an Ohio dealership repossessed her car, Tia McCreary discovered a way to get back. Take its name. Can you imagine having the power to take the name of a car dealership? And that is, I have goosebumps just saying just that. That is powerful. Moving along, while evaluating her legal options, McCreary discovered the Ohio Secretary State canceled the registration for the name Taylor Kia Lima after Taylor Automotive Group failed to submit a renewal application. The rest is history. Take it in. Take it in, ladies. Take it in, guys. You are a driving force when you go into a dealership, when you buy a vehicle, whether it's used, whether it's new, whether you rent one. You have the power. You have the voice. You're in charge. 877-960-9960. Ladies, $50 for the first 2 new lady callers. And this morning, our first lady caller is Barbara. Good morning, Barbara.
Hi, Barbara.
Hi, how are you?
We're well, thank you. Welcome to Earl on Cars. And
thank you.
congratulations, you won yourself $50. And if you stay on the line when we're finished speaking, you can give your contact information to Jeremy. He'll pass it along to me. I'll write that check out and send it to you.
Thank you. I have a question. I have a Mazda CX-5. I leased it 2023. It's the second time I've leased a Mazda. The first time, my residual value is $19,000. This time it's $23,000. I have to turn it in next year. Is it? And I'm older. Is it wise to buy that or to just go buy another car or lease another car?
Well, Barbara, you should shop the market value. You can't, in fact, the Mazda or any manufacturer cannot accurately forecast what that car is going to be worth on the used car market in 3 years or 4 years. So it's a crystal ball kind of a thing, and it's one of the risks of the leasing business, because if you don't get the residual value, in other words, what the customer can buy the car back for, accurate, because of the law that says the customer can buy the car back at that residual value, you can lose a lot of money. A few years back, there was a huge crisis where the residual values were way off, and a lot of manufacturers lost a lot of money. In fact, this happened during the COVID years as well. So rather than say it's a bargain, if you'd asked me this question a year ago, I would have said it's a bargain. The residual value you've got is a bargain. You should exercise your option, and then I'd warn you about being sure that you didn't pay the dealer anything except what your lease contract said you could buy the car for. No junk fees, no dealer addendums, no administrative fees, just that number on your repurchase condition on your lease contract. Today, I would say, with that information you have, the amount, $23,000, when it's time that you have to make that decision, shop your car around. The good news is it is so easy now to get a really good price on your used car. There are companies like Carvana and CarMax. Rick Kearney is sitting next to me here, recently sold his truck, and he did it in a remarkably short period of time, and he talked to multiple sources, and he had a wide range of offers. So what's more fun than going around and getting, say, 5 offers and having maybe a $2,000 or $3,000 difference between the low and the high, and taking the high offer? That is what you can do. So get at least 5 offers. WeBuyAnyCar.com, Cars.com, Carvana, CarMax. If you go to Google and say used car buying services, you'll probably get 20. The tide has turned where people realize that the way to get a used car is to buy it directly. And one of the car dealerships, or one of the I don't know what you call them, Carvana, is doing extremely well now because they are able to buy their cars at the market value from the customer, and that is good value for the seller and the buyer, and that's why I can't give you an exact answer. If you described your Mazda in terms of mileage, wear, scratches, interior, exterior, you can get a pretty good idea just by shopping it with Mazda dealers. In addition to the buyers I mentioned, you should go to 2 or 3 used car departments at Mazda dealerships. Don't go into the new car department. Go to the used car department at the Mazda dealership and say, I'm going to sell my car. I've got too many cars in the family. Don't even tell them it's leased. You don't have to tell them. Just show them the car and say, how much, to the Mazda used car manager, how much would you pay me for this car today? And if it's over $23,000, and it also covers the sales tax deduction you get when you trade it in, then sell it to them. And or after you've gone to 2 or 3 Mazda dealers. I hope I didn't talk too long.
No, you didn't. I actually, during COVID, when I turned the other one in, I made more money by turning it into Carvana.
Oh,
the other thing is, if I just, do you think Mazdas are a good car, or I was looking at maybe trading it for a used BMW X3?
Well, of course, they're two different, luxury versus a standard car. I was a Mazda dealer many years ago. In fact, I was the first Mazda dealer in the eastern United States. I got my franchise in 1970. The Mazda has gone through a lot of cycles. They're a small company. Their product quality is not up to BMW. So I guess that's your answer. If you can afford to buy a BMW, it would be a far better car than a Mazda. And Mazda, among the Japanese cars, ranks below Honda, below Toyota, even below Hyundai, in my opinion. And that's
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this will probably be one of my last cars, so I just really wanted your input. I listen to you all the time.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Nancy,
we appreciate
thank you
that,
very
Barbara.
much.
Barbara,
Okay,
I
thank you
want to
very
tell you that as I was telling Rick, because he had time, he took his time to sell his vehicle. It sounds like as if that you probably are in the same driver's seat. And that's, that gives you a lot of leverage. And
yeah, I am. And I keep my car impeccable, and I keep it serviced.
Great.
That's why they gave me, I think it was $1,500 more than what they quoted me online when I brought it to Carvana.
Yeah, it sounds like as if that you are an educated consumer, and you're making a lot of women happy this morning. You calling Earl on Cars, it helps not only them, but it helps me in building this platform for women, because women are so involved today in the car industry, but unfortunately, not everyone has gotten that memo. This is a male-driven industry, and whenever you walk into a dealership, whether it's to do what you have to do, whatever it is, whether you're buying, whether you're renting, anything, for you to make contact with that person's eyes, for you to stand tall, for you to speak slowly with confidence, you're way ahead of the game. And right now, you're in the driver's seat with what you just shared with us. So I thank you for calling Earl on Cars, and I hope to hear from you again as to what decision you made, whether it be a BMW, whether it would be a Toyota. And I'm not mentioning Toyota because, well, as you well know, we're with Toyota, but I'm mentioning Toyota because I advise our grandsons, great-grandsons, to purchase Toyota. It is an amazing vehicle that lasts a very, very long time. I hope we helped you out this morning.
You did, actually. Thank you.
You're welcome, Barbara. Hope to hear from you again. Hey, 779609960. Or you can text us at 772-497-6530. We're going to go to John, and John is calling from Delray. Good morning, John.
John, hey, how you doing? Good morning. I don't know if you remember me. I'm the guy who talked about cleaning your engine with that spray stuff called Total Auto Wash.
Yes.
It's still fantastic. I got quite a few guys using it. But the question I have is I have a 2019 Hyundai Kona, and when you scroll through the menu on the steering wheel, it shows your miles per gallon, how much you're using, how much, it shows sometimes I'm getting 45 miles a gallon if I just, travel about 55 miles an hour. Am I really getting 45 miles to the gallon?
Are you going downhill?
No.
That's Earl's second job. He's if you didn't hear, he's a comedian.
I am too.
That's how we supplement our income.
So I was just curious, is that an accurate reading or just a Mickey Mouse thing they've added to the car?
Yeah, Rick will answer that. He's got...
Yeah, that instant fuel economy that they show, it's more of an encouragement. What it's doing is it's like a video game thing that will encourage you to drive the car in a better way to get more fuel economy, which, of course, is better for the health of the car and everything all around.
Right.
The only truly accurate way to judge your fuel economy is to fill up your tank, write down your mileage, write down, how much fuel you put in, but then at your next fill up, write down the mileage and how many gallons it took to fill it back up, and do the math to break it down and find out how many miles per gallon you drove, and do that over the course of like 3 to 4 tankfuls of fuel, and then you've got a nice average that tells you what your true fuel economy really is.
Let me ask you a question on that, because you're absolutely right. I certainly totally agree with it. How do you get the I know you fill your tank up. At what point do you wait till the pump kicks back and stops, or do you wait till it comes up to the top and spills on your fender? I mean, what is filling it up?
The safe way to do it and the proper way to do it, put the pump in, hold the handle, or just put the lock on it, and when it clicks off that first time, now this is provided that your system is operating normally, there are valves in the car and a valve in that pump handle that are designed to shut it off when the fuel reaches a proper level. You don't want to overfill the tank, because if you keep going afterwards, trying to squeeze more and more into the tank.
A lot of people do.
Yeah, which they do. That can actually allow liquid gasoline to go into the charcoal canister.
Ooh.
And when it contaminates that canister, a little bit once in a while, once every 6 or 8 months, isn't going to hurt it too much. But over time, if you get too much in there, you suddenly are going to wind up with a $1,500 to $2,000 bill, because it's going to throw a check engine light. It's going to affect the way your car's running, because when it tries to purge the vapors, instead it's going to be getting liquid fuel, and your car is going to run like crap, and you're going to have some serious problems.
Well, I got lucky because I've done that before, but that is no. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. One other, this one's an informational thing. You know that you talk about the car, the Beast. Do you know where the first presidential car came from?
No, actually, I don't know that one.
I don't either.
When Al Capone got arrested, his car was considered the Beast.
That's right, John.
Beast.
That's right.
I love that story.
I didn't get a chance to answer you.
Oh, wow.
Who else would have a car that would be appropriate to become the first presidential limo?
Yeah, I was Al Capone at one time.
Now, I do know that after JFK, the ruling came down from the Secret Service that never again would they allow a president to ride in an open convertible after JFK's incident there in Dallas.
What a disaster.
Yeah, I mean, it was...
That's a scene that stays with you forever. That just is so telling. Thank you for bringing that to the attention.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, it's just one of those things. But yeah, and again, like I started the show off this morning, I am a car nut. If I had an unlimited budget, my garage would be the size of like one of those airplane hangars that they put those B-52 bombers in.
Yeah.
But
and I think that if we had more time, you could talk to the audience about how the disaster took place, the assassination of a president took place, and it should never have happened. But we
that one
don't
was
have
horrible.
that kind of time.
No, no.
So anyway, John,
Yep.
do you have any other comments, questions?
No, I listen to you guys all the time when I can, and it's usually a 15 or 20-minute listening period as I'm traveling to a golf course, which
Yeah.
I'm about ready to go to now.
Well, that's interesting, John, because Earl and I were talking this morning about our listeners, about our followers, and how they tune in and tune out. And you're not unique.
I know. Oh,
Thank
you know
you,
the
John.
advantage? Yeah, do you know the advantage to dating homeless women?
Pardon me?
No, what is it? Advantage to dating homeless women.
Doesn't matter where you drop them off.
Oh, John,
That's
that's
it.
a funny one.
That's a real.
I'll catch you
Rick,
guys
Rick
later.
gave you a drum roll.
That's a real man. I know you're an older guy because that's an old male chauvinist comment that probably I made. Actually, I didn't make it because I didn't know. I hadn't heard that one before. But if I was,
Iggy's laughing.
I'm
laughing.
74. I'm 74.
I'm 84. So
Okay, well, I have to give my age. Come on, everyone.
ahead.
Are you listening?
29.
Drum roll.
29.
83 years old, December the 5th.
Wow.
Thank
I
you,
didn't-
John.
I didn't know you had a daughter.
You're a silver-tongued devil. John,
Oh, I am. Thank you.
thank you for admitting that. Most men don't. Have a wonderful weekend. You know, I want to share with everyone that there are more ladies that are bringing their vehicle in for service. Does anyone know that there are not only more women, I'm talking about maybe, and I'm going out on a limb here, Earl confirmed this, 60%? 70% of women come in for service.
it's between 50 and 60. Yeah.
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 And guess what, ladies? It's important. It's so important that you already know the process because you're in the danger zone when you come through service. You have to make eye contact. You got to stand tall. You've got to go in with confidence and never, ever say, I'm not sure, or I don't know much about cars. Never, ever say that. Even if there's just, I don't know, just a snippet of information you can pull from the internet, because knowledge is power and you are in control. So keep that in mind. We are going to go to Barbara. Actually, we're going to go to Elaine, who is a first-time caller.
Wow.
Welcome, Elaine.
Oh, good morning. How are you?
We're great. We want to let you know that you've just won yourself $50 by being the second female caller this morning. And if you stay on the line, Jeremy in the control room, who's got a very important job, I wouldn't know what to do without him. He is quite the performer. Will pass the information along to me as to where to mail that check.
Well, that's very nice. You're my new best friend. What can I say?
Thank you. Elaine, you're playing a huge part this morning because you're helping me. You're helping me just build this platform that is in so much need in the auto industry. So I thank you for the phone call, and the women that are listening, you're encouraging them to call. What can we do for you this morning?
Yeah, well, I'm sorry that women never had any automotive classes in high school. That would be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it would.
Yeah. My problem is I have, my lovely 2010 Toyota Camry XLE is now yellowing.
No.
I brought it in I bought it in Long Island. I think I wrote to you about this. I was waiting for a response. Anyway, I called up Toyota, and there was a fund, but the fund is over at 2022. My car, which is a 2010, and I brought it down because I was taking care of my mom after her stroke. All of a sudden, it's starting to peel and yellow. I thought it was, bird crap, but it wasn't. It was yellowing. And now I see it on the door, and of course, there's no fund anymore. So what's the recourse? And I think it has to do with clear coat. And my mechanic, who's a wonderful guy, said this is happening to a lot of cars now, especially in Florida with the hot, hot sun. They're using some kind of a new, Toyota's a great company. I love my car. My previous one was a 93. I had it for 17 years, never a problem. But now I see a lot of cars are yellowing, and mine is one of them. Of course, there's no recourse to Toyota. Do you have any kind of
Elaine, I want to tell you, you called the right show, because we have someone in our studio that is a genius, and he can answer your question and guide you in the right direction. Rick?
And unfortunately, I've got only bad news.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, no.
My own, the pickup that I just sold, I encountered the exact same situation with it's called delamination. And basically it's the clear coat that they put on the car. And this all comes down to the EPA and emissions regulations from the government, that the new paints that they have to use are just not the same quality as what they used to use.
Are you saying the clear coat that they put on the car, or the clear coats that they don't put on the car?
Right, and it's unfortunately
which?
Well, it's the clear that they spray on the car.
Okay, well, there was a huge paint problem for white cars because there was no clear coat.
Right,
and now you're saying there was also
that was also the white paint due to the EPA laws of what paint they could use.
Yeah,
it would literally delaminate or peel off.
Well, does her car have clear coat or not?
Her 2010.
Yeah, and it's a white car, not the fluorescent, but I think it.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it has clear coat.
No, it probably does not. You said you've got spots where it's peeling.
Peeling, cracking around my door, but the whole trunk is now getting yellow.
Yeah. What color is it underneath where it's peeling away? Is it gray or is it still white under there?
I haven't really noticed that. I think it looks more orange than anything else.
And excuse me, Rick, does Elaine have a different problem than what you and I and Earl spoke about?
It's still
now we've been on the air for 21 years.
Mm-hmm.
Is it any different than what we have discussed it in the past? Because there was never a real solution.
Yeah, the basic problem is the adhesion of the paint. It's not sticking, and the paint isn't handling the Florida sun very well. So unfortunately, you've really only got one option, and that is to have the car repainted.
Yeah,
and
that's what
Toyota has, for a while, they had a customer support program, especially on the white cars, where if the white paint was delaminating, they would cover the cost of replacing it, repainting the car completely. Now, though, they've finished that, and they're saying, no, we're not. It's an environmental issue, and they're just not covering it. So, unfortunately, your best option really is you would have to have the car repainted.
Right.
I looked into this a lot for my own truck, and even myself, it would have cost over $10,000 to really have a proper, high-quality paint job done on my truck.
Yeah.
And I looked into the idea of getting what's known as the wrap, where they do a vinyl wrap. And unfortunately, even the quality shops that do vinyl wraps, if you have the paint peeling off, they will not put a wrap on it, because the wrap itself would then peel off with the paint, and they'd be responsible for trying to repair that. So they won't even attempt to do it in the first place. So the best bet really is to check around with different body shops, find a good quality shop that will give you a decent paint job at a reasonable price, and that would be the best option. And for me, for my own personal self, I actually just decided to go ahead and sell my truck rather than deal with trying to put that kind of money into it. Because an older vehicle right now, if the engine is still running strong and the car's, with a 2010, depending on how many miles on it,
Less than 50,000 because it was garage and
And does the air conditioning blow cold?
Absolutely great.
You might consider the idea of simply selling the car, because if you check around, like Earl says, Carvana, We Buy Any Car, CarMax, check a few dealerships. You know, the value of your car right now is incredibly high for used cars, and they'll overlook those paint issues, and you could get quite a bit of money to be able to put towards a different car that would be newer and still have its same thing. Or the other option really would be just to live with it and let it peel.
Yeah, you can get I just checked with ChatGPT, and you can get a real basic paint job for $1,500. It's not going to be anywhere near what you had when you bought the car, but it'll look a lot nicer than what you have now. And if you really want to splurge, for $2,500 or $3,000, you could get a pretty decent paint job. But it'd be crazy to spend $10,000 to make it look new again. But if you want to spend $1,000 or $2,000, you can make it look nicer. It just depends on whether you want to keep the car.
My mechanic wants the car, basically, because he has one, and I think he wanted for parts like a cadaver. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he's telling me they don't make cars like this anymore from Toyota, any company, and I'm leery of getting rid of it, but I think I'm going to have to.
Sure.
I don't need to ride around in a Rolls, that kind of a look, but it just looks starting to look terrible. And the car is great. I think the engine is great. It's a 6-cylinder. It takes regular gas. And I think the outside of the car is going to deteriorate, but the engine will still be great. So I don't know. And then you get rid of a car. What cars, this seems to be a problem then, that does not have clear coat or have this problem?
Well, this does have. I was mistaken. Your 2010 Camry, Rick was right. I was wrong. I checked it. The 2010 Camry did have clear coat. So I did not have clear coat. I'm sorry. It did have clear coat. I sound like I'm drunk. Maybe I am.
That's okay.
But
I did a little research. And then when I called Toyota, a lovely lady, only one person answering the phone. She sounded like she was 15 years old. She couldn't give me any other numbers to call or anybody else. She's all alone in Plano, Texas. And she said, well, they would only replace certain parts where the color came off.
Yeah.
They wouldn't repaint the entire car.
Yeah.
And I said, Toyota was such a responsible company, so I'm really shocked at the responses.
I recommend you sell it to your mechanic after getting a quote from Carvana and CarMax. If he comes close to those, even if it's a little less he pays you, it's a nice way to keep a good mechanic and do him a favor. He'll do you a favor.
Elaine, may I ask you a question?
Please.
I think I have difficulty in hearing at my age, so I'm going to ask you to repeat yourself. Have you been offered a price for your 2010 XLE?
No, I haven't asked anyone yet.
Okay. Do you have a
and
price?
To trade in, I'd get $1,000 would be ridiculous.
Pardon me?
And if I just did a trade-in on a car, I don't even know what I'd want to buy. It would probably be $1,000, and that would be a disgrace.
Elaine, you sound like a educated consumer, and believe it or not, you're in the driver's seat right now. You have a car that everybody wants, especially if you were to go to a mechanic. He would double that. He would double that when he resold that vehicle. And the paint job that the guys were talking about, I will speak to you from experience. At one time, many years ago, I was a young girl with 3 children, and my car needed a paint job. And I made a mistake when I decided, I'll just get an inexpensive paint job. What a huge mistake. So if you're not ready to go to the best of the best for the paint job, you're still in the driver's seat because your mechanic, I bet he wants your vehicle. And I say that, and you can't see me right now. I don't think you can, but I'm saying that with a snicker because he will benefit from your loss. So
He
you
has
make
the same
you
car.
make the decision whether you want to keep the vehicle or not.
Your car's worth $2,500 to $3,500 in round numbers.
And after he buys that from Elaine, what will he sell the vehicle for?
Or he might just keep it. I mean, a good mechanic.
It's a good car.
Recognizes a good car.
Yeah, it's a good car, Elaine. That's my point.
I agree with you 1,000%, and I think it's worth having it for the parts alone. That's all, because parts alone, you can't even find some of these parts. Now, I was looking into a Lexus, but the Lexus now only takes premium gas. And then I looked into the RAV4, and 2026, and you can't get a RAV4 that's gas. Everything's electric. So I'm really up the creek. I don't know what I'd want to buy. I want a most reliable car, but it's very difficult because people don't really know what to do with an electric car.
The RAV4 is a hybrid, which means it's still a gasoline, but it's an electric car that carries its own generator with it. So it still runs on gasoline, but you get the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if the 2026 will be hybrid. I think they're just coming out as electric.
Oh no, they'll have hybrid.
They will have hybrid?
Oh yes. Yes.
And Elaine?
The hybrid RAV is probably one of the most reliable cars that you're going to find. My wife drives a RAV right now. I sold my pickup, and we're driving a RAV4 right now. I mean, they are, let's see, RAVs came out in 97, as I recall when I first saw the first ones at the dealership, and they're amazing. They're just incredible vehicles. They're
amazing,
great.
Elaine. My daughter has a RAV, and she is so happy she decided to purchase a RAV4. You can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway, Elaine, we have a few calls.
Just one last point. You thought that all Lexus require high test. They don't. There are several Lexus models that don't require high test. So if you want to buy a car, there's no better car in the world than the Lexus. And if you buy one that you like, and you can buy one with takes regular gas.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking into an SUV because I want to get off the ground.
And Elaine, I'll leave you with this thought. Anything and everything I do, 3 estimates on anything. I don't care if it's a toothbrush. 3 estimates on whatever avenue you choose to take.
And don't discount
all
Honda
the luck
either.
in the world. Rick?
Honda makes a great vehicle as well.
Honda is one of our greatest competition. Elaine, it was a pleasure speaking to you. I certainly hope you spread the word to the other ladies. We're building a platform here for women callers like you. And there's a lot of women that heard you and said, hey, if Elaine can call the show, we can call the show, because they're very hesitant. I speak to them throughout the week, and they are just hesitant to be on the air. So thank you for your support.
Thank you for answering, taking the time with me. I appreciate it so much.
You're welcome. Have a wonderful weekend. We're going to go to Jupiter Farms, and we're going to talk to Frank.
Well, good morning from Jupiter Farms.
Good
Can
morning.
You hear me?
Hello
yes,
there.
Good. 2 things. I'm trying to think of what I'm going to talk about. Well, since we just got off about the paint job and stuff, I sent you a picture of a Toyota truck I saw at the car wash the other day. Did you see that come in, that Tacoma?
Let me look right now.
Who did you send it to, Frank?
To your show, where you call in for when you reviews.
Text message.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Look at that Toyota. Now, I spoke to the guy. His name is Dave. It's a big truck. He's a big guy. That's a 20-year paint job, and it's still holding up. So isn't that amazing?
Wow.
It sure is.
And look how big that truck is.
It sure
Right
is.
on.
That's quite a statement.
Wow.
But I'll go back to something on the old days.
I'm
You
looking at
guys
the
spoke-
picture as we speak. That looks like a
Yeah, isn't
brand
that
new
something?
vehicle.
It's amazing. It was truly amazing. $60 wash job there to have that size truck clean and detailed. But anyway, it's over on Indiantown Road.
Yeah, but if you got a garage to keep your vehicle in, that makes all the difference in South Florida.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. With that in mind, let's go back to the nitrogen in the tires discussions that we've heard over the years.
Is this a dirty joke?
No. This is actually a very true story.
Nitrogen is a dirty joke.
Oh no, I like
because
that. Yeah,
today the consumer is still being taken advantage of. Why? Because of nitrogen.
Exactly. It's truly amazing. But how it all really began, tragically, March 31st, 1986, Mexicana had a 727 flight number 940 going from Mexico to Los Angeles. On the taxi out, and I flew the 727. And so, I mean, that was a while ago. But anyway, they could feel the plane didn't seem like it was, especially on the takeoff roll, it wasn't really feeling right. It seemed heavier, sluggish. Turns out that the left wheel well, the brake, the number one brake was dragging, and it heated up so much so when they retracted the gear, went inside, and the temperatures got over 800 degrees. It melted. The brake lines, the tire blew up because they had just regular air in the tires back in those years, not nitrogen. And so the oxygen inside the regular air added to the fire. It burned through the brake lines. It actually destroyed the airplane. It broke in half and crashed to the ground with, let me see, 187 people. So anyway, so that they came out afterwards and said, we will have to put nitrogen in the tires. So that's where it all really began. But in the aviation business back in 1986, and obviously continues today. So I saw this accident report come across my computer, and being a pilot and stuff, I read it, and I said, boy, this is an Earl Stewart and Nancy Stewart talk show portion about the nitrogen and health and things like that. So
yeah, here I was looking around for the dead horse that we were about to beat on.
Oh, another comedian in the studio.
They're also in.
Iggy, you're next.
Nitrogen is also used in NASCAR cars, and it's because the races are so important and the cars are so expensive that you're actually going to get a little bit better tire wear if you're driving 200 miles an hour. So most of the car dealers, when they try to sell you the nitrogen, tell you that that's why they use it in NASCAR cars. If you should have the same nitrogen that the NASCAR driver has.
Well, they can predict how much it's going to expand.
Yeah.
So they know exactly how to get that 1/100th of a second to win a race.
Exactly. Have you been to Daytona 500, Frank?
Yes, in the old days at Eastern Airlines.
I've been to Daytona 500, and I've checked the nitrogen and all the tires.
Oh, well, I was lucky enough when I was in college, sweeping floors and scrubbing toilets for myself through University of Miami. The ROTC forgot to give me my scholarship like they promised me to become, an officer in the Air Force and eventually fly airplanes. Anyway, so the mechanics were mostly enlisted airline or Air Force people. And they would know that I was in ROTC, and they would come over and throw some dirt on the floor in front of me. Here, Lieutenant, sweep this up and whatever. But the one guy named D.B. Cooper, not the famous D.B. Cooper, but David Cooper was a mechanic, and his brother owned a radio station in Huntsville, Alabama. So he would write to Daytona and say, we're going to send our press team down we got inside the racetrack. We were down by the cars, and I was their camera specialist. I thought, this is really funny. I had my little Yashica 35mm camera, and I was, taking this for the radio station. Who would see it on a radio station anyway? But anyway, we got in. But yeah, I was fortunate enough to get into a lot of the races with the mechanic friends, and see the races right up close and right Peter in the pits.
Cool.
So it was interesting. One other, real quick, I was up at the Audi Stewart place trying to take your advice to get it in writing that they're going to actually cover my wife's issue with the leather. The guy wasn't there. But anyway, we met the lady behind the phone.
You're breaking up, Frank. We're not hearing you.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick. There's a lady up there at the Audi dealership in Stuart. Her name is Sandy. I'm going to have her call your show. You will find her the most fascinating woman as far as the cars and stuff to talk about on the show. And she was, well, I'll have her do the talking, but hopefully she'll call you in the next week or two. I encouraged her to call you or one of your female callers, but you'll Nancy will actually absolutely. Anyway, my throat's getting dry. I'll see you Tuesday. Thank you for the invite.
You're very welcome. Thanks very much, Frank.
Have a great weekend, Frank. We're going to go to Barry. First, let me thank you for your patience, Barry, and thank you for being a regular caller. Barry's calling us from Tampa. Good morning, Barry.
Good morning. Hope you're all doing well, and congratulations on your 50 years with Toyota.
Thank you.
This one's for Rick, I think. It builds on something a previous caller was asking. It's about the accuracy of car gauges for temperature, speed, miles per gallon, miles traveled, tire pressure, and so forth. I'll give you an example. While driving my car on the interstate, often the cruise control, speedometer, and my phone's GPS navigator app show 3 different numbers for my speed, like 70, 69, 68. My tires and wheels are original, and the air pressure is set to the level specified on the door jamb label. Someday, maybe I'll check the true speed using the roadside milepost, assuming those are accurate, and a stopwatch. But I haven't done that yet. I read that a 4% margin of error is considered acceptable, so I'm within that. And on a different note, I'm pretty sure that I have more gas in the tank than my fuel gauge says. So this accuracy thing isn't a big deal in the grand scheme of things. I'd call it more of a small annoyance, because although I like things to be spot on, I can always compensate in my head as long as the gauges are consistent. But what if a car's gauges are too far wrong? Short of replacement, is there a way to adjust them?
To adjust what now on it?
The gauges.
Really, there isn't. The reason being, the computer that gives those readings, it's got to look at so many variables that it really can't give you a real world honest answer. It's going to give you an estimate, and this is going to be based on like the air temperature, the temperature in the tires, so many different variables that it's just got a really wide range of error. And like I said, really the only way to truly judge fuel economy is to do it that old-fashioned way that we've done for 100 years. You know, calculate how many miles you get out of a full tank of fuel, and then divide that out by how many gallons you put in. And that will give you how many miles per gallon you actually get, and do an average of that over 2 or 3 tankfuls of fuel, and you'll get a good idea of what your car is getting for mileage. Your speedometer is going to be relatively close to actual speed, but it's never going to be perfect. And even if your tires are off just by a couple of pounds of pressure, and this can be the difference between a cold tire and a tire that's warmed up by being driven on the interstate, you know, it can change the diameter of that tire by almost half an inch, and that's going to affect your speedometer. So all these things work together, and it's just, we have to live in a real world that you're never going to get that definitive, right down to the 4th decimal place answer.
This is just a guess on my part. I think when auto manufacturers build their cars and they build the gas gauge, they err on the side of running out of gas, showing you that you're on empty ahead of time, premeditatedly, because they don't want you running out of gas. So they're probably exercising a right that they don't really have to fib about how much gas you have. They feel like it's better for their customers to think they're out of gas and pull in and get some gas than think they're not out of gas and run out of gas in the middle of the expressway. So I think we know what they're doing, and so when we look at the gas gauge and it is on empty, we know that, well, that happened to me before, and I drove another 30 miles before I had to fill it up. So it's a comedy of errors, not just accuracy, but premeditation. And Nancy's waving at me.
I am waving. I have to take advantage of this moment, Barry. There was something that I would do that annoyed Earl. I'm going to put him to the test and ask him, in reference to this subject that we're discussing right now, what did Nancy used to do when she drove a combustion car? and gas
Well, you would
and mileage.
Yeah, you would drive when it was on empty.
I would drive Earl crazy.
Yeah.
Because I would take it beyond the limit.
Yeah.
To your question.
That's not a gas pump, I don't think.
Pardon me?
But I don't think driving on fumes. I don't think is very good for the gas pump.
No, it really isn't good to drive a car down to where it just goes almost totally empty. You're going to start getting air sucked into the engine, and those little bursts of air cause pre-detonation. It can cause other issues with the engine.
And Rick taught me so much.
It's really not safe.
Yeah, he taught me so much about this bad habit that I had about driving the car to the last second, the last ounce of fuel, and how detrimental it will be to your vehicle. So I learned a lot from Rick. That was, I think he told me maybe 15 years ago.
And not to mention South Florida, anytime between the end of May and the end of November, and I'll even push that into mid-December, I never let my fuel tank go below a half. That's the lowest. And that's simply because I have seen hurricanes pop up in South Florida, and the moment one shows up out there in the ocean, whether it's going to come here or not, the gas prices go up, and people line up and destroy the stations to buy all the gas they can get. And it's like this mad feeding frenzy. So I'd rather have a half tank of gas and just drive by those stations laughing at all these fools. And then when it all clears down and the gas prices drop, I go in and fill my tank back up.
Do you take a sign in telling them they're all fools?
I'd like to.
Okay, Barry.
Thank you very much. Just real quick before I move here, what about the odometers? How accurate are those?
If you're running the original factory-sized tires, which most people, 98% of people, are running factory-sized tires on their car, it's going to be pretty reliable.
Okay. Fair enough. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You're so much welcome, Barry. We enjoy your conversation. Saturday in, Saturday out. You're one of the regular callers, and as I always say, the callers make the show, and we definitely appreciate you and all the others. I think it was last week that I mentioned Earl's Nationwide Vigilantes, and they do great work. But I think this will make it more personal, more comfortable. We'll build a list of women volunteers across the country. What do you think about that, girls? What do you think about that? I think it's a great idea. And maybe even go along or be on the phone with another woman buying her next car. It's completely free, completely voluntary. Just women helping women. So if you're listening this morning and last week, and I'm going to mention it every week because it's an important topic, you're one of the women who can, really help another woman. If you're a negotiator, if you feel confident and fair, email us through earloncars.com and or call the red phone, and we would love to hear from you. Let's make this something special. A sisterhood of smart, honest buyers looking to help each other. I think it sounds like a great idea. If you're listening, if you've already called, if you're a new caller, let us know what you think about the idea. Let us know what you think. Our number here is 877-960-9960, and our text number is 772-497-6530. And don't forget, we do have the Mystery Shopping Report coming up. We are going to go to Mel, who has been, patiently waiting. And for you others, we'll get right to you. Roadrunner Steve, Tricia, to name a few. Good morning, Mel.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for taking my phone call. And congratulations on the 50th anniversary coming up.
Thank you.
To everybody. Yeah. Anyway, I had called about 3 or 4 months ago. I have a 2010 Camry that has only 49,000 miles. It's in really showroom condition. It's been garage kept all its life, and we have the problem of the melting dashboard, which I did write a letter to Toyota. I called them several times, and they just told me that it's up to me. I have to replace it because the enhancement program has expired. I believe they said 2017. I never got a letter. I never got anything. So
let me interrupt and just ask you a quick question. When you notified Toyota, did you indicate that this was a safety hazard?
Oh yeah. I wrote
good.
a letter and I sent it certified because there's 3 prongs to this thing of the safety hazard. It impairs the vision on your.
I'm shocked that they didn't respond. That's not like Toyota. If I were you, I would send. This is a long shot, of course, but if I were you, I would resend that, double check, and because I've never known the Toyota manufacturer not to respond to a customer a letter or email, especially when you highlighted the fact that you have a safety issue. I know it's a 2010, it's an older car. They're not necessarily going to do anything for you, but not to respond, I haven't heard that before. Give it another try.
Yeah, well, I mean, I spoke with supervisors and the top people over there, and they said that the program has shut down. They extended it, this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah.
I never knew about it, and plus it didn't raise its ugly head because it's been garage kept most of its life.
Yeah.
So, and I do have a Toyota RAV4 2010 with 180,000 miles, which is a perfectly running car.
Wow.
And I purchased a Toyota 2023 from you for my daughter in 2023, brand new.
Yeah.
So so I'm a Toyota guy, and I told them all that, and they still, they don't care. They don't want to help me as a customer. And it's dangerous because if it does, and the problem is that the airbag deployment could be compromised.
Yeah.
With something like this.
Well, let me say this, and I'm always pro-customer, but I have to say that when you build a product, at some point you have to stop fixing it if there's a problem. And let me exaggerate. Supposing your car were 20 years old instead of 15, or supposing it were 30 years old, cars that have built relatively recently in modern times do last a long time, especially. But there's no product that I'm aware of that has a real, and I underscore real, lifetime warranty on everything on the car. A lot of dealers advertise lifetime warranties, but that's BS. But when you paint a car, whether it's a Rolls-Royce or a Ford or a Toyota, there is a limit on the paint warranty, and your car is 15 years old. So that's what you're looking for now is something called goodwill, and goodwill is the only way you're going to get help, and you can get it. I was going to ask you which Toyota dealers you dealt with. Have you been into my dealership?
Yeah, I bought a car from you back in 2023.
Okay.
RAV4 for my daughter, yeah.
Did you have anyone at my dealership go to bat for you with Toyota on the paint problem?
No, it's not a paint problem. This is a melting dashboard.
Oh, melting dash, yeah.
Yeah. This is a melting
dash. Did you have anybody from my dealership go to bat for you on that?
No, I have not.
Okay. Here's this is a very good question. This is inside information. Different dealerships have different relationships with Toyota. Some dealerships, Toyota dealerships, and all dealerships, their warranty expense is way too high. It could be because they're too liberal and on approving warranties that they shouldn't, or it could be that they're actually stealing from the manufacturer and making up warranty claims. And the manufacturers have to police their dealers. This is, I say, behind the scenes, but it's a big problem to the manufacturers. Now, there's also the dealers that are honest and abide by the rules. And these people, if something is not a legitimate warranty item, they don't warranty it anyway. And change the mileage or change the description so they can be reimbursed. Honest dealers have that relationship with the manufacturer. My dealership has that relationship with the manufacturer, and other good Toyota dealers have that relationship. So it isn't uncommon for me at my dealership to have a customer come in with his car out of warranty, and I will call, not me personally, but my service manager will call Toyota and say, Mr. Jones here is a good customer. He comes in regularly for service. He's bought 2 or 3 cars from us, or whatever it is. He's been a Toyota owner for years, and his car's out of warranty. Can you help me under goodwill? Goodwill is something that Toyota will reimburse a dealer for because you want to buy the customer's happiness. They call it goodwill. Right. So I would go to a Toyota dealer that that you felt had a good relationship with the manufacturer, and I would try to have it covered under goodwill. I could tell you, I don't believe it would be completely covered. In fact, I can tell you it won't be completely covered. But I think if you get the right dealer, you can get some help. For example, they can, in my dealership, what I would do, for example, I'd call Toyota, I'd ask for help. And I would say to Toyota, I want to take care of this man, and I will replace the dash at zero cost to you. I will not zero. I will not charge you my warranty rate, which could be $200. I'll only charge you what I pay my technician to put it in, and the technician, Rick, would get what?
For a dashboard,
per hour.
I think it's around 2.5 hours.
So what do you get per hour?
Average tech in the shop is around 30.
Okay, so the tech only gets $30 an hour, but I get $200 from Toyota. So I tell Toyota, I'm only going to ask you to pay what I pay the tech, and I'm only going to ask Toyota, I'm going to put the paint on at my cost, what I pay for the paint, or I'm on paint again. I'm going to put the dash in at what I pay for the dash. That saves them 40%. So that's how you can get some help at a dealer that is trusted by Toyota.
Right. Well, I could see what the price would be because I do want to keep the car. I like the car, and
well, if you can't find a dealer closer to you, bring it to me, and that's what I'll do.
Mel, let me ask you this question: what year is your vehicle again?
It's a 2010.
2010. I'm going to share with you some information about deteriorating dashboards. Did you know that dashboards deteriorate like no other state? Florida is number 1. Right. And I point that out because it's the harshest environment for car interiors. But I point that out because I sit here and I wonder, and we've heard your story before from other customers, from other callers, why isn't this easily taken care of? And it's rather unfortunate, and I really hope that you're able to get your problem taken care of because, as I said, dashboards in Florida deteriorate faster than almost anywhere else in the country.
Yeah.
So I'm going to become an advocate for dashboards.
Right. Well, I'll be happy to bring it by. When's a good day to bring it by, Earl?
Well, just let me know when you're going to come in, and I'll talk to my service manager about it.
I mean, it's probably better on a weekday, right? Because obviously
typically.
That would be that would be a good idea. And Mel, if you want to text me your contact information, we can be sure to secure, a schedule that would be conducive to you and to the person you have to see.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm looking at my calendar now. I don't know what time do you guys open up in the mornings? Usually 7 o'clock, or?
What are our hours, Rick?
Very, very early. Can you be there at 7 a.m.?
Yeah, I could. I could, but I don't know.
Service department is open on Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday is 7 to 5. And Sundays, I believe, are 9 to 3 now.
I think so.
And Mel, it goes without saying, the earlier you get there, it's in your best interest. So text me your information. As Earl said, you can bring your vehicle in. We'll bring the technician up to speed on your situation.
Right. Okay. And I don't have your
561 386 6498.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'll text you my information, and maybe we can set it up for November 20th, 7 o'clock. Does that sound?
November the 20th at 7 a.m. Perfect.
That's good. Yeah.
I will text you. I will reply back to you to confirm that.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll text you. Thank you so much, everybody, for a great show, and have a good day.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Mel. We're going to go to our favorite person. Guess who that is? Roadrunner Steve. Hey, you. How you doing, Roadrunner Steve?
Oh, very good. What a conversation. Good Lord. Okay, the woman...
I hope you were doing something to occupy your time. You've been waiting a long
I'm
time.
Tell you what I was just thinking, that the women vigilantes, they should call themselves WAR. Women Against Ripoffs.
I love it.
Thank you for the idea.
Well, I was.
What do you think about?
listening.
What do you think about my women and vigilantes just kind of following what we have been, talking about with Earl's vigilantes?
Yes.
You like
The other
that?
thing was,
Okay,
right,
Steve.
The other thing was, I still can't believe that guy who sprays his engine down with this stuff and hoses it off. I just can't see that being possible with that.
That's crazy.
Ricky,
Rick, what do you have to say?
In a car, something's going to go.
I am never a big fan of washing the engine compartment because, especially today with the electronics and the chance that one small seep of water getting in and shorting something out can cost you thousands of dollars.
Yes. With my Roadrunner, all I do is cover the carburetor. For people who don't know what a carburetor is, that's in an old car. And I would cover the distributor cap, and that's it. And there used to be a place in New York, you would have a steamer, and it would just steam away everything.
Yeah.
Put it on the lift and do the whole steam thing.
I remember that.
Now, make sure you cover the coil as well.
Oh, yeah. The other thing was my 70 Barracuda had a paint problem. It was painted plum crazy, that purple.
Oh,
that paint
love that
peeled
color.
off. Yeah, I know. So I took 5 cans of Krylon flat black and painted the whole car flat black.
Oh, I actually
I can peel it off like wallpaper.
I actually did that once. I took a 1967 Chevy C10 pickup and I painted the entire thing with 99-cent cans of flat black spray paint from Home Depot.
Oh, I used Krylon. I went for the good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But the other thing was, I had my Roadrunner painted in 1992. It still holds up, but I'm starting to see stuff now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The main thing is you got to keep your car covered down here. And for the people with that dashboard, don't they have a cover that would go over the top of that? Because I have one in my Roadrunner. It's
Yes.
just a float mat that fits over for the air vents, for the defroster, the holes are cut out and everything.
Yeah.
And I never had a problem.
Yeah, you can buy those covers for any dashboard, and they're custom fit, and they've got the openings for the airbags and all that. Yep.
I know. Why don't people just invest in that instead of doing, worried about the gas? Because I know it's hot down here. There's stuff that goes with especially with the sun.
Yeah,
but that would be the cheap way out. Just get the cover.
Florida is very rough on cars.
Harsh.
This is a harsh environment.
Very harsh.
With that. But, I'm sorry. I'm not going to be able to make the 50th anniversary. That's too late for me. I can't drive at night.
Oh.
Steve, we were going to use that excuse, and then we realized that, guess what? We have
What?
to be there. But 5:30 is very, very late for Earl and I.
Oh, okay, I got it. I understand that. But I still don't get that.
But we'll
guy
be there
the-
with bells on.
with that washing the motor thing. That I think that's too dangerous to do. With that,
It is. It does come with, some danger.
Yes, I mean you're sitting there, all of a sudden you're going to start the car up. You see sparks flying all over the place.
Oh boy, that wouldn't be a good thing.
Yes, and Rick is also right about the gas. Never let it get down to the bottom. That's where all the junk is.
Exactly.
And it can clog the filters and the fuel injectors and all that stuff.
Yeah, and not everyone thinks about this, but the inside of a vehicle can reach temperatures of 150 degrees to 170 degrees.
Yep. I had a thermometer in my car one time. The thermometer broke it. That's all.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, yeah.
With that. And the other thing is never keep a bottle of water in your car either.
How about a bottle of whiskey?
Well,
I'm sorry.
water
Rick's
we
looking
can't
at me
use
like
that.
I just committed a mortal sin. I retract the
okay.
statement. I meant rum.
Okay. But then, like a half bottle of water can turn into a magnifying glass with that sun beating on it.
Yeah.
And get the car on. And never drink the water that's in the car that's hot.
Yeah.
You'll end up killing yourself.
Isn't that the truth?
The germs.
Well,
Okay.
I learned as a teenager, don't leave a can of soda in your car.
Yes, that's another thing.
It took
Yikes.
a long time to clean up that interior.
Yeah, I know, especially off the roof, the inside of the roof.
Yep.
Okay, everybody stay safe, well, and happy.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you so much,
Okay.
Steve. We love hearing from you. You're a huge part of the show. And
Me.
we just love. I was waiting for that, Rick. You dropped the ball earlier. I'm glad there's someone else that can drop the ball besides me. Okay, folks, we're going to go to Tricia, who I can say has a lot of patience. Tricia's calling us. Trisha's calling us, and she has been holding for quite some time. She's a regular caller. Good morning, Tricia.
Good morning. Don't worry, I could still listen to your show even while I'm on hold, so no big deal.
You're so dedicated to us.
Yes, every Saturday. Sure, whether I call in or not, I want you to know. Excuse me, I'm listening, no matter what.
Yeah, and hey, Trish, I'm really depending on you. Guess why?
Depending on me?
Because you talk to a lot of ladies, and I'm hoping that you're promoting what we have here for the ladies every Saturday morning. Because when Tricia calls, everybody listens.
Well, thank you for that, but I don't know.
How about pressure? How about that kind of pressure?
Wow. Every time I call
You better
in.
get out there, girl.
But, anyway, I want a few things because I know you got to get to your secret shopper report,
Mystery
too.
shopping report. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I agree with that guy. I love that title, Women Against Ripoffs War. The only good thing, it won't cost $2 billion to get that name like it's costing our government. Anyway,
Isn't
so
that the
it'll cost
truth?
A lot less. Okay, and number two, you mentioned something about women helping women, which
Yes, the vigilantes.
I love that idea. Yes, I love that idea, but I want to expand that, Nancy. Not only are women hopefully taking over the car industry and buying and things like that, Nancy, women should be helping taking over the world.
Well,
Okay.
it goes without saying, Tricia. I don't know how old you are, but I've thought about that for many, many years. But let me take a moment and, give recognition to someone who deserves recognition. Because I have to say, without a doubt, there wouldn't even be a show without Earl Stewart. And Earl Stewart Earl Stewart is behind a lot of some fantastic ideas. And he spoke to me about Earl's nationwide vigilantes, and he mentioned women, and everything just escalated from there. So I know without a doubt that I can depend on him, and it's a lot of pressure for him because, you know, there's so much that he does day in and day out, and we're both at the age where, well, we're ready to run off into the sunset someday, but I just want to give due where recognition is due. Thank you, Earl.
Well,
Tricia
well,
loves the
there's a lot-
idea.
Yeah. Yes, love the idea. A lot less testosterone and no ego with women.
There you
so
go.
That's why.
There you go.
Okay. But the reason, mainly I called him because I texted about a picture. I don't know who texted me back. Was it Rick?
Yep.
About some orange mold on my mirror. Now, I know, Rick, I know I could replace the mirror, but the reason why I'm staying on the phone is because I've already replaced this mirror 3 times. Don't ask me how I busted the mirror. Okay? 3 times. 3 times already. I've already busted that mirror. If you want, I'll tell you. So, Rick, the reason why I'm asking you, because I don't want to spend another $20 buying a new mirror. I know I could buy a new mirror, but I've already bought 3 of them already. So that's why I was asking, is there something to get rid of that so I don't have to buy a 4th mirror?
Where are you buying the mirrors from for $20?
I got them on Amazon.
Unfortunately, I honestly couldn't tell you anything that's going to get rid of that discoloration. That's why my thought was, I didn't realize you'd replaced them multiple times, but unfortunately, this may be a case of you know, for $20 you get what you pay for, because I know the mirror glass itself through Toyota is probably going to be closer to $100 for the mirror glass itself.
But didn't you say, Trish, that you replaced that mirror 3 times?
Yes, you want to know how I broke
So
them?
wouldn't it be a good idea to get the mirror from Toyota for $100?
Oh, wow. But with that, okay, I could buy a mirror for $100, but it still might break because the reason why they all broke before because I got too close to a garbage can, and that's how my mirrors have busted in the past. So if it's a $20 mirror or a $100 mirror, it...
Stay away from the garbage cans.
These garbage cans are real strong, let me tell you, Nancy.
Pardon me?
They're very strong.
I bet they are.
So that's why it cracked
and
the mirror.
Rick's holding his tongue. I believe it's his tongue or his lips or something. He claims the 5th. He claims the 5th.
I
Come
really
on,
want
Rick.
to know what he's going to say. Really? Yes,
Hey,
come on,
listen,
Rick.
he's holding his hand over his mouth now. I'm going to beat it out of him.
Rick, come on. What are you going to tell me?
Unfortunately, there's not really a fix except just a new mirror glass. Yeah, Earl's found them on here on Amazon for like $15.
Okay.
But yeah, it's you'd have to replace that piece of glass.
Okay, I
And
just didn't
like I
want to
say,
have to
the
do that again.
you know the cheap glass through Amazon and like Rock Auto and that sometimes, you know, when you buy the really cheap stuff, it's, you know, you get what you pay for. And I got to say, to give you just a parallel, I'm a really big guy. I'm way overweight, and I spend a lot of money on good quality shoes because of that, because I've learned that cheap shoes hurt my feet because of how big I am. So I spend good money on quality shoes so that I get the best use out of them. And it's just, you know, I mean, if
That's
you
very
want the
true.
higher quality, sometimes you got to step up for the price
Very
of it.
true, Rick. Earl and I talked about that last night. shoes and how important they are. It doesn't matter whether you're overweight or underweight.
Yeah. Well,
and it does correlate
Yeah.
with the mirror.
As a mechanic, I spend a lot of money on tools, and I buy high quality tools because those tools are going to pay for themselves in the long run.
Exactly.
They're gonna
It's
last,
an investment.
and they're going to do the right job.
Well,
So
what
I'm-
causes this, Rick? I've never had this happen before.
Well,
If,
if it's low quality mirrors and the adhesive there, they may use some crap adhesive that just deteriorates quickly over time.
Okay, Trish, listen, I'm sorry that we have run out of time. We do have to get to the mystery shopper report. Could you give us a call on this subject again and let us know what you decided to do?
I will do that. Thank you so much, and happy anniversary.
Thank you so much, Trish, and thank you for being part of the show. Have a blessed weekend. Okay, we are going to get to the mystery shopper report. Remember, you can vote at 772-497-6530. Earl?
Okay. Mystery shopping report. Beeman, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Murfreesboro, Murfrees, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And of course, Agent Lightning either has friends there, she travels there. We've done 2 or 3 reports up in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. We like to get out of state, and we do. Florida is unusual for you regular listeners. South Florida, as I refer to it, the Sodom and Gomorrah of car dealerships. It is really rough to buy a car down here. So we go up north, and we find out some nice car dealers. There are nice, honest car dealers. Not a lot of them, but there are a few. I'm not going to tip my hand here. This is good, bad, or ugly, but it is a car dealer in Tennessee. And
Earl, have we been to Tennessee before? It just, in the back of my head, I'm thinking of the same dealership a couple of months ago.
We've been to a few dealers in Murfreesboro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of the first person as if I were Agent Lightning, female. I arrived mid-morning and was greeted by a sales manager named Troy, who welcomed me in. "How can I help you today?" he asked. "I'm not exactly sure what I'm looking for," I replied. "I was hoping you could maybe help me figure that out." He smiled, said, "Let's go inside. I'll find a salesman who can help you, which vehicle fits your needs." Troy found Cisco, Michael Cisco, as he later introduced himself and introduced us, assuring me that he would take good care of me. We went to Cisco's desk, sat down at his computer, and he asked me a few questions. All the while, my eyes kept drifting toward a Jeep Grand Cherokee displayed on the showroom floor with an MSRP, that's a manufacturer's suggested retail value, of $52,735. There was no addendum. That's a strike. I mean, our regular listeners know that addendums are something that they're trying to take advantage of you. They're trying to inflate the price of the vehicle. No addendum on this particular vehicle at the Beeman Chrysler Jeep Dodge in Murfreesboro. No addendum. I pulled the car up online and saw they had it listed, advertised, I emphasize, for $44,778. Our regular listeners know that when you advertise a price, that must be the price you pay. The price you see is the price you pay. That's the law. Federal Trade Commission, state laws usually, it's against the law to advertise a product for something you won't sell it for. Now, the exception is only government fees, license plates, sales tax, but no more profit hidden, and that's where we catch most of our dealers. Cisco went over all the features with me and then offered to take me on a test drive in a similar model since the one on display couldn't be driven. We went out for the test drive, and he was very informative, taking his time to make sure that this was a vehicle that would be best for me. Back at the dealership after the drive, He asked if I had any other questions. I told him I just wanted to get a price so I could talk it over with my son before making a decision. He wasn't pushy at all, just promised to get me the best deal he could out the door. As we headed back inside, Troy came back over to see how everything was going. I told him Cisco was taking great care of me and that I'd like for him to work up the best price. I really don't want to go back and forth and waste either of our time. I mean, she anticipated what usually happens. I don't want the back and forth game. If you could just tell me the price, I'd really appreciate it. He nodded, I understand. Give me a few minutes. As promised, a few minutes later, Troy returned with the price and said to let him know if I decided to move forward. He put a worksheet on the table between us and began to review. The top line, labeled Market Value Selling Price, was $52,735, which was the Monroney label, the MSRP. They took off a $4,457 discount. It's a lot of money. $4,457 discount. And additionally, $3,500 rebate. You add those together, you look at $8,000 off the selling price. The adjusted price was $44,778, same as the internet price. But guess what? Here we go. Then they added some junk fees, $272.22 in taxable fees. When I said earlier, government fees are not taxable. Government fees are legitimate, like sales tax and license plate. But these were taxable fees, which means they're junk fees. They're dealer fees. And a $797 doc fee. That's also a junk fee. There is no documentary fee on a cash sale. This is a cash sale. So that's a made-up name for a fee that is just profit to the dealer. The real price after junk was $45,847. Now, that's not a lot of junk. I mean, in South Florida, that's just a little bitty amount of junk because it's about $1,000. And you come to South Florida, you're looking at an average of $3,000 in junk. So I said, back to my mystery shopper role, very good, I said, I'll be in touch. They both, manager and salesperson, handed me their cards, and I was on my way. So we need to vote on that. We need to find out how you would score that based on our curve system. And the curve, as you regular listeners know, is the highest, best is an A, the worst is an F. So because we do thousands of these reports, we just don't think there are too many A's. We don't like A's because they exaggerate how good a dealer is. And the F is the same way. If we flunked as many dealers as we'd like to, because some of these little tricks are just embarrassingly bad, but if we flunked everybody, then our recommended list would be 0. So this show serves a purpose, a function, to help you find a place. And because most car dealers are wheeler dealers, no pun intended, then you're going to have some place you could go. So C is an average dealer. An average dealer isn't very good. So try to keep your scores in the mid-range, not A's and not F's. But if you feel strongly, you can give them an A. And if you feel strongly, give them an F. Nancy, she feels strongly negatively about a lot of dealers, and she gives them an F. And that's the way she should do it if she feels that way. So we'll go around the table and see what votes we have coming in. Rick's looking at his phone, and our famous YouTube.com folks. Are the votes coming in, Rick?
They are. We've got Bob in Maryland says, no addendum, price below MSRP, very informative salesperson, not pushy, a little junk has to be an A-. They should move to South Florida. No, they should not. I would rather fly myself to Murfreesboro, Tennessee, to buy a car than to have them come to South Florida and be infected with the evil that exists down here.
I'm glad you said that, because I think there are wannabe honest dealers in Florida that, if they really were honest, would go out of business, because an honest dealer would advertise a price he would sell the car for, and then the dishonest dealer, his competition down the street, would advertise the car for $3,000 less than he'll sell the car for, and he would come into the dishonest dealership and be flim-flammed with smoke and mirrors and dizzy, and walk out buying a car for too much money.
Yeah. Like I say, the evil in South Florida, it's a virus that there's no vaccine for it. Okay, well, Jonathan in Palm Coast, oh boy, he says fraudulent fees equals an F. No mercy. If they can't make a profit by giving the buyer an honest deal, they don't deserve the business. Oof. The temperature just dropped in here a few degrees with that one. My goodness.
Well, what was the grade?
An F.
F. Oh, geez.
He said no mercy.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay. Tim Gilliland, pro, not pushy. Con, junk fees. That equals C+. Mark Smith says, unfortunate junk fees added, C-. Tom Steckel, B, no addendum and $1,000 in junk fees. Much better than Central Florida's CDJR with $4,328, $4,300 in junk fees and forced add-ons.
Yeah.
Joseph Kelleher, B, would have been a little higher grade without the over $400 in junk fees. Johnny Z. Fradley, C. Scotty Florida says, very nice discount and not many fees and not pushy, B. Brian Sidlatko, junk fees will get a D for me. Mark H. says, C for junk fees. Honesty is not our policy. Ooh. Bandas J says, if they're willing to negotiate the junk and dock fees, I'll give it a B. If not, C+. Over here, we've got South Florida Two-Step says, I'll give them a B-. Junk fees are a little high. I'm surprised they brought out all the discounts, and they seem pretty quick. Negan says C for junk fees. Myself, here we got Anne Marie says B for Beeman CJD. Junk fees did not wipe out the dealer discount. Very true. And I'm actually going on the bandwagon here. I'm going to say B for me, because I think you got a decent dealership there. They were nice.
Yeah, highest score you've given in a while.
Yeah, and they treated the customer right, I think.
Yeah. Nancy?
Well, everybody knows how I feel about fees, and as Rick said, it is they treat people very nice in Tennessee, but why all the fees? For that, I give them a D.
As in dog?
You could say dog.
Well, Coach, my name for ChatGPT, gave him a B. And I'll break down. And I'm going to give him a B, too. I think that it's earned. And I always ripple a little bit when they add these junk fees in. I think that I would excuse the junk fees and the fact that probably his competition's doing the same thing to some extent. But B, and that's the highest score I've given out in a while, and the highest score Rick has given out. So, and we have 2 or 3 YouTubers that gave him a B too. So, and even ChatGPT. So, you folks anywhere near Murfreesboro, Tennessee, that's a good place to buy Chrysler, Jeep, or Dodge. It's an honest dealership, relatively speaking, because they do have a small amount of junk fees.
Yep. I'm looking. Cram asked me to read his, but I don't see it popping up. I'll give him just a second here. But do we have a quick moment? Maybe I could read Anne Marie's text?
Certainly.
Excellent. She says, good morning.
Good morning,
Please
Anne-Marie.
correct me if I'm wrong. I understand that vehicles imported outside of official manufacturer channels can't be sold or operated in the U.S. unless they comply with safety and emission standards are called gray market vehicles. It's not totally illegal to sell these vehicles, but they are subject to a myriad of regulations, and no warranty will cover any problem on these vehicles. I was wondering if gray market vehicles and potential problems they have are common here, or are they relatively rare?
They're rare. We don't hear about it, but you're correct, Anne Marie. That is an issue. You can bring cars into the country that would not otherwise be allowed to be manufactured here. And of course, there are a lot of cars on the road for years back that couldn't be manufactured today. So you have to be careful.
Because they actually come with how can I put it, a lot of differences and risks.
Yeah.
So you can't emphasize that enough.
Yeah.
You do have to be careful.
Well, one of the things I think a lot of people see in these cars is they're not allowed to be sold in the U.S. unless they're over 25 years old. So you're buying an antique, but you're getting kind of a unique vehicle because a lot of these cars coming over, like from Japan, are right-hand drive.
Thank you so much for that information. To all of you out there that tuned in to Earl on Cars, we thank you. We thank you very much. Next Saturday, I'll tell you in advance, it will be a rerun. Have a wonderful weekend.
WQAM 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WFLM 104.7 HD3 Palm Beach Shores, and heard in Boca Raton on 95.3 FM.